Hey, welcome to ZIPMOUTH Motivation Podcast, powered by 101.5 Indie Radio. Be sure to listen to ZIPMOUTH Motivation Podcast every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. This is where we fuel your growth, challenge your mindset, and help you elevate to the next level. So listen in. Don't forget to listen in. I'm your host, Damasha K. And today, tonight, this evening, this morning, whatever time it is for you around the world, we are going to tackle a heavy topic tonight, but it is necessary to talk about because y'all know ZIPMOUTH Motivation gonna always talk about some real and raw stuff that we really going through, and that sometimes we need to be checked on. All of us, not just you all, but me too. So the topic tonight is about retaliation and how to break free from it. And I promise you this week, I think that everybody was in this retaliation mode because as I started to do my notes, I was like going to do notes about something else in the beginning of the week. And then it just seemed like person after person was having issues where it comes to retaliation. And then I was listening to one of my sons, I don't remember which one. I was listening to one of them talk to someone about when you allow someone to control you, they own you. And so they were somebody was telling the other one the story, and it was like, this happened, And so I think the other one was like, well, if you let them get you to that level, then now they control you. So I was like, man, I really need to talk about retaliation. So we're going to talk about retaliation tonight. You know, that feeling someone like retaliation is like when somebody does something wrong to you, like they disrespect you, or they push you so far and suddenly you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. And I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that yet. But let's be real. Retaliation often does more harm than it does good. It really does. And what's even wilder is it doesn't always look the way we think it's going to look. Sometimes we be retaliating about stuff that is like, wait a minute, I really could have did something else. But today we're going to break it down a little bit. So we're going to break it down into 5 different components as far as the different types of retaliation, why we do it, how it affects us in the ways we don't realize, and most importantly, how to break free from it. Because if we're going to talk about it, we're going to break free from it. But before we dive into it, big shout out to Takaya Divine Tea Company, where peace starts with a sip. Okay. Sometimes when you feel like you want to retaliate against somebody, just get you some Takaya Divine tea and it may calm you down. You know, it's plenty of flavors, especially one that's called It's a Vibe. So just be in the vibe all the time. Let's get into it, folks. So let's start with the basics. Y'all know what the basics are. What is retaliation? You know, like what is it? And retaliation is an instinct to get even. Like I got to get even. And when you feel like you will feel this attack or this disrespect or this betrayal, it's human nature to want to get even. It's human nature to want to make a person feel the way they made you feel. Because we feel pain. You hurt me, you disrespected me, you attacked me, you embarrassed me, you whatever. So we feel pain. But here's the twist though. This is the twist. This is the twist. Retaliation isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, calculated, and slow burning. Because, you know, like when you want to get even with someone, you don't want them to know that I'm about to get even with you. You're like, I'm finna, yeah, I got them. And you thinking of all the ways you about to retaliate. You got a whole plan in your mind about retaliation. And I want to say some more, but I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go a different direction. So there's 6 different types of retaliation. The first one is verbal retaliation. Words are weapons. But the thing about it is, once a word comes out of your mouth, you cannot retract it. Like that person heard exactly what you said. It's in their mind, it's in their subconscious, it's in their they you don't said it. You said it. So now you got to deal with the fact that when you're not in this retaliation mode no more, they still remember what you said. Then we got emotional retaliation. That's the silent treatment, manipulation, guilt tripping. A lot of people use this one though, because they feel like it's so subtle that they don't really know that I'm retaliating against them because I'm manipulating them. I'm not talking to them. I'm guilt tripping them. That one is very deadly. And then we have social retaliation. This when the gossip starts. I'm gonna turn everybody against you because of what you did to me. Now I'm gonna make everybody hate you. So that's gossip, that's ruining a person's reputation, turning people against them. And then we have professional retaliation. Workplace, workplace sabotage, blocking opportunities, passive aggressive at work. Y'all know some of y'all be doing that right now. Some of y'all be doing that right now. And then we have physical retaliation. This when you put your hands on somebody. You hurt me, you said something to me I didn't like. Now I'm about to put my hands on you. And then we have this is my all-time favorite though. And I laugh about this one because I just think when people use this retaliation, I just think it's like super silly. Spiritual retaliation, wishing harm on somebody, telling them God gonna get you, oh karma gonna turn around, and whatever. So let's get deep for a second. Each of these are a form of retaliation, but we're gonna start with verbal because verbal is always the go-to for anybody. Once somebody hurts you or they embarrass you in front of somebody, now you feel like I got to clap back. You start throwing insults during arguments, or you on the social media and you doing things, you bringing up a person past mistakes to hurt them, to make them feel bad or make them feel like, why are we doing this? Using sarcasm or passive aggressive to cut deep to hurt them. Now, words are powerful. They can build or break. And this is what I be trying to I try to get people to understand this. Like when you are having an argument with somebody, speak facts only. Speak facts only. If you feel like you have to disrespect that person, cuss them out, or say something that you really don't mean and that you're not going to mean in 20 minutes, 2 days, 3, 4, 5, don't say it. Don't just hold it. But sometimes in the midst of retaliation, you want to tell this person, you want to tear them down so bad, you can feel it in the grit of your bone. We got to stop that though. In a moment, snapping back at somebody might feel good, but it could cost you everything. It could cost you everything. Think about it. How many arguments have you ended up with people saying, I wish I hadn't said that? At the end of the day, you like, dang, I really wish but they can't unhear it. That's the thing. Once those words fly out your mouth, baby, that's it. That is it. It's hard to remain calm in the midst of an argument or in the midst of someone disrespecting you or anything. It is very hard. When I tell you it's hard, it's hard. And trust me, I understand because a lot of times people feel like they want to insult me and say whatever they want to say to me because they feel like I hurt their feelings or whatever the case may be. You don't have to retaliate and insult. Just tell me I hurt your feelings so I can apologize and break it down in a different way because maybe you didn't understand what I said. And that's another part of retaliation is like sometimes you may think somebody coming at you the wrong way or trying to embarrass you or make you feel that's probably not what they're trying to do. You probably just don't understand their language. That's just my perspective. That's just my little tidbit for y'all. Instead of reacting, pause for a second. Before you react to something somebody says to you, just pause for a second. Give yourself at least 3 seconds to decide if the words you fix in your mind, in your spirit, whatever, if they're gonna fuel the situation or if they're gonna make the situation better. 3 seconds. 3 seconds, that's all it takes is, okay, if think before you talk, basically. Like, think before you talk. Ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want peace? I always tell people, like, I don't mind being the villain. I really don't mind being the villain. I'll be the villain in the situation. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to be at peace. So if you want me to be the villain, I'll be the villain. But I'm going to walk away in peace. Use your silence as power. Those 3 seconds, like, just be quiet for a second. Some fights aren't worth the energy. Me, I'm not an argumentative person. I don't want to argue with people. I don't have the energy. I don't have the mental capacity to have an argument with you. Because sometimes the best clapback is no clapback. I found that, like, through my life, through my 40-something years of life, right? I found that when I don't say nothing at all, that gives that person time to fester in their thoughts. Now, whether they're festering good or bad, it doesn't matter to me. Because while they're festering in their thoughts, I'm calming myself. And I'm analyzing the situation that just happened and where I was wrong and how I could do better in another situation or a situation that may occur similar to that situation. Because at the end of the day, you can only control you. You cannot control anybody else. You cannot control what they thinking, how they feeling, or you can only control you. So now let's get into this emotional retaliation. Emotional retaliation doesn't come with loud words, but quiet punishment. And emotional retaliation is kind of like to me, I feel like, and I'm gonna say this, I feel like it's a sucker move. And I feel like it's a sucker move because of two of the things, the silent treatment. Ignoring someone to make them feel bad. I don't know why I feel like that's weird, but it's just weird to me. If you wrong someone, or if they wronged you, why not just tell them, hey, you hurt my feelings when this happened, but I'm not going to say nothing. And I don't know if you really did what I feel like you did. And neither one of us we have no clue what's going on. We just know that you are giving me the silent treatment. So that's like that emotional retaliation is like, just tell a person what they did wrong. You don't got to silent. Hey, listen, you hurt me when you did this. Or when you said this, it kind of bothered me. It made me feel some type of way. If you don't want to use the word hurt, because these days people want people to know they soft. I don't know what that means, because if you don't want people to know you got emotions, then what you is a robot? That's just my thought. So let them know. Or people will do stuff like withdraw love, withdraw affection, or support. What? So now what you're telling the other person is that you are basically heartless. And who wants to deal with heartless people? In today's world, when if you in the grocery store, you might be having a bad day, I need a hug. You might take a hug from a stranger. So they'll do stuff like that, like they'll withdraw love, which I don't agree with. Because when you withdraw love, now that person feels unloved. Now you have put into them that you don't really love them, or you love with conditions. They'll withdraw affection. And I was speaking to a couple of young ladies and a young man this week, and they were talking about, like they were talking about sex, and they were talking about having sex with their partner and being upset with their partner and not wanting to have sex with them, or not giving them sex to their husband or their wife or whatever because of an argument. Absolutely not. Because now you just opened up the door for other stuff to happen. You just open up the door for a million different things to occur within that time that you feel like, "Well, I'm mad, so I'm not gonna have sex with you." What? Why can't we just have a conversation? It would be simpler. It's almost like people take that emotional retaliation and they use it as a grown-up as a kid. So now what you're essentially trying to do is you're trying to control this person to feel what you feel, and they probably will never feel it. That's just my thought. Or support. And I think, like, withdrawing support is a big one, big retaliation in families, where families feel like, "Well, I don't like what you did, so I'm not gonna support you." So we just out here loving with conditions. If you make me mad, I'm just gonna take all this stuff away from you that I feel like you really need and you really want. Okay, you can do that to me, but so many times after a while, I'm just gonna say, forget it. Obviously, you don't want me in your life, or you don't need me in your life, or I'm not really a family member to you, and we just ain't gonna talk no more. And I'm gonna live in peace because that is control. Or you can have someone, a part of emotional retaliation is playing mind games, making someone guess what's wrong. Why are we guessing? Why is we guessing? And it's adult people that do these things. And it could be you. It could be you, the person listening to this right now, emotionally retaliating against someone. Instead of just telling them like, "Hey, you know what? I'm upset, but I'm just gonna play mind games with you, and I'm gonna try to tit for tat you when you might not even be playing tit for tat." I'll tell y'all a story. I'll tell y'all a story because y'all know I'm gonna tell y'all a story. So, in the midst of dating, I was dating this gentleman and somebody who I really, really cared about. I really cared about them. I am a big, big person when it comes to birthdays. I love people's birthday. I feel like you was born into this world. I'm so excited for you. You get to live another day because I feel like you should be grateful for every birthday that you have because you never know when your time is going to come. Well, in the midst of all of that, I go out. Well, I give this person a birthday gift. I think I gave him like $100. But then I had during, you know, coming up to the person's birthday, I had bought them like these little gifts here and there, just to surprise them like at the end of the night for their birthday. And so I gave them this stuff, right? And I laugh about this like every time I think about it, because what? But I gave them this stuff for their birthday, and it was like they didn't like nothing. So it was like some shades, it was like, well, some very expensive shades, some candy that I know that they like, some very expensive soap. Like these were not cheap gifts. These were really nice, expensive gifts. But they didn't like any of them because they were mad about whatever. Okay, fine, fine. Well, if you don't like them, I'll take them back. I didn't get upset about it. Whatever. You don't like them, you upset about something. I'm not gonna feed into childish behavior. So I took the gifts and I said, "All right, I'll put them up." So at first I was like, "Man, what am I gonna do with these gifts?" Because I'm not a person that will take something back to the store, right? So I was like, "What am I gonna do with these gifts?" I was like, "They don't like them, but I don't like taking stuff back to the store because I feel like once you brought that stuff home and you done touched all on it, then you finna return it. They not finna clean it at the store. That's not fair." So anyway, I decide to give these particular gifts to my sons because it's like they're man gifts. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ain't got no other man to give them to because I'm feeling like you my guy. So I return these gifts. I give these gifts to my son. So me and this person still date, and like I'm not tripping about the gifts. We were still dating or whatever. And Christmas comes around, right? So Christmas comes around, I literally forgot about the birthday thing or whatever, like, whatever, I'm over it. I'm done with it, whatever. Do y'all know I bought this gentleman a gift, like, every year. Bought this gentleman a gift, and because this person said they didn't like a gift and I gave the gifts away, they did not buy me a gift. I I'm like, "Well, you gotta be kidding me." Instead of, like, talking to me and saying, "Hey, are you upset about me not buying you are you upset about me not liking the gift, so you're not gonna buy me a gift for Christmas?" They was trying to beat me mad. Strangest thing that I was like, What?" Like, "What?" But, like, whatever. But when they did that, that made me feel like I'm not worth it. So I need to walk away from this situation because if I'm not worth a Christmas card or a a Merry Christmas, even though I don't celebrate it, but they do, so we would celebrate in it, like I'm partaking in the things that you partake in. So even though it's not a big holiday, but every holiday that comes, I'm getting you a gift, a birthday, I'm getting you a gift, and you mean to tell me I wasn't even worth a card? Okay, so you obviously don't want me in your life. And people may feel like, "Oh, that's petty," but, like, when you start playing mind games with people who don't play mind games, that emotional retaliation could take a toll on people. It takes a toll on a lot of things, and we're gonna go through some of those things. Guilt tripping. When you're trying to make somebody feel responsible for your emotions, when does this stop? People are not responsible for your emotions if you're going to withdraw love, if you're going to play mind games, if you're going to do the silent treatment, if you're going to do all of those things without saying, "Hey, you hurt me. Hey, this bothered me." And then having an adult conversation together. And when you listen to all these things that's encompassed um, in this emotional retaliation, it all sounds like things that children do. So if this is you, stop today. Stop today. And I'm laughing, and I'm not laughing at you, but stop today because you have no clue of the damage that you're doing to someone else that may not even hold the same perspective as you, that may not even know what they have done to you for you to behave this way. Because instead of you using your big words, you want to do baby behavior. Now, I get it. Sometimes people deserve distance. They do. I just told my cousin tonight when her and I was talking, she was asking me about what I was doing the podcast on. And I told her retaliation. She had 100 million questions. But one of the questions that came up is what about family? You can't just stop talking to family. You can. You can. Sometimes you have to give that distance in order for people to heal and come together. But here's the question. Are you creating boundaries for healing or are you using distance for punishment? Excuse me. And that's the big question. Because if you're not creating boundaries and you're just trying to punish someone, that's retaliation. You're not saying, "Hey, this happened. So listen, this is how I'm going to react to this for now. This is the boundary that I'm setting for this now." Instead of emotional retaliation, why don't you try this? Express your feelings directly. Use words like "I feel" instead of shutting down and not saying anything. Set boundaries. Distance is fine sometimes, but it shouldn't be a game. It shouldn't be like, "Well, you know what? They did this to me, so guess what I'm gonna do? I ain't talking to them no more." Maybe they don't even know they did that. Maybe if you have a conversation with them, y'all can come to some kind of common ground. And I know forgiveness is not always easy, but the forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Because at the end of the day, the energy we hold onto is the energy we live with. And this is why I like to be in peace. This is why I like to be in peace. So we're going into social and professional retaliation. And in today's world, this is a big thing. I know right now they're talking about the DIE being changed, and I know people are getting fearful. So now we're stepping into a world of just social and professional retaliation. Social retaliation is like gossip. Running to people in your job, talking about people, running to friends and family, talking about people, not just telling your side of the story, not telling the whole story, but only telling your side of the story. Why we do that? If you're not gonna give a person a fair chance to explain themselves or give their reaction or even give their perspective of what happened, why are we even talking about it? And it's so funny that people will they'll gossip about a problem that they have with someone else, but they won't talk to the person. There'll be silent treatment in them. Like, why we do this? I want you to ask yourself, like, if this is you, stop for a second. Ask yourself, what makes me gossip about people that I have a problem with, and I don't have the ability to talk to them about the problem? Just ask yourself. People be turning friends against friends, turning family members against family members. And I guess for me, that's a two-part retaliation because I feel like if you could turn someone against me, that person was already against me. So now they retaliating with them. Now you got double retaliation. Or now you doubling up the retaliation for someone else. Exposing secrets out of revenge. And this is why I say I have no secrets. I don't care what people tell about me. I have zero secrets. I don't have no secrets. My life is my life and I am who I am. Because when you go to tell somebody about me, they probably already know. Now, am I a private person? Yes. But if you come and ask me something, you ask me a direct question, yes. Or no. Or maybe. I don't think so. I don't remember. So it could go either way. But there are no secrets. I am who I am. But people will expose all your big one on the internet. People will be arguing on the internet, exposing talking about their dirty houses, talking about who they man messing with, who they woman messing with, what they did when the doors was closed. Why? What makes you want to expose someone that badly when they hurt you? And now when you hurt someone and they do that to you, oh, the world has ended. The world is over. But then you just did it to somebody else. So you have to watch what you do. Professional retaliation, sabotaging a coworker. I hear this so much happening. Like, this happens so much. It's like unreal. It is unreal that people have the mental capacity or the time on their hands to sabotage something. Like, you have to really have, like, are you at work working? Like, are you working at work or are you trying to plot and scheme a plan together? Blocking someone's promotion. I remember when this happened to me when I was working for Head Start. I was working for Head Start. So I started at Head Start, driving the school bus. That's how I started at Head Start. So after I finished my college degree, my first degree, I decided, well, I'm gonna do case management. Oh, it was this lady who did not, I don't know what her problem was with me, but baby, she did not want me to be a case manager at Head Start. I don't know if I was taking somebody's job. I don't know what the situation was, but this woman did not want me to be a case manager. This lady fought tooth and nail for me not to be a case. I had to end up going to a board meeting explaining to them what my college degree was about. I graduated summa cum laude. At the end of the meeting, I remember saying, like, listen, I don't have time for this. If she don't want me to be a case manager and y'all bringing me up here before this board of people to talk about why I want to be a case manager, what my experience is. I've been working with Head Start for 7 years. Absolutely not. Y'all can have this job. That's how I felt. At the end of the day, I ended up being a case manager, but she didn't want me to be there for whatever reason. She did not want me to progress. Some other things that happen on jobs or professional retaliation is being passive aggressive. That little sneaky sly talk, I always tell people, like, say it with your chest. Like, if you got something to say it with your chest. You don't have to talk up under your breath. You don't have to be sideways. Be direct. So then I can be direct and not retaliating, but just, hey, like what you trying to say? Let me get an understanding. Or what did I do? Or what happened? Why are we being passive aggressive? What is happening in this situation? This type of retaliation is tricky because it feels justified to people. Like, people feel justified when they sabotage your job or when they blocking you. This lady, I'm telling y'all, this lady was so mad. And she felt like she had did the right thing. She felt like she was standing up. When that gentleman didn't buy me a Christmas gift, he felt like I did the right thing. I got the power. But the truth about it is neither one of them won. Because it changed the course of how people looked at her, and it changed the course of how I looked at him. So them retaliating against me was like, for what? It didn't change anything for them because I kept succeeding. And they were battling. What does it say about you if you have to lower yourself to their level? Someone is retaliating against me or you, and then you're going to lower yourself to their level in order to feel like I need to get them back. I could have got the lady back. I could have exposed a lot of stuff about her. I could have got the gentleman back. But you know what? I was like, y'all got the juice. Y'all got the juice. And sometimes you have to tell people, like, you got it. If you feel like you won, then you won. Because I'm still at peace. And that's the space that you want to be in. Instead of retaliating socially or professionally, let your success speak for you. I tell people, address issues directly. Don't be with say it with your chest. If somebody do something to you, instead of you taking 5 days to 5 days a year, 6 months to concoct this devious plan, wasting energy, wasting purpose, wasting time, right then and there, be direct. Say what you feel. Say what you think. Because sometimes it may not be what you think it is. Don't let someone else pull you down to their level. Once you get up, stay up. I don't care what happens. Stay up. Stay in honor. Stay in your power. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to seek revenge. Life has all kind of ways to support people doing you wrong. Handle things the way that they need to be handled. So now we jump into the physical and the spiritual retaliation. And this may touch home a little bit, especially when we start to talk about the physical part of retaliation. Because things can get real physical. Physical is like fighting, breaking things, hurting someone. And this is what we see happen every day on the news, on the TV, listening to podcasts, is listening to watching TikToks or watching reels on YouTube. You see this every day, somebody fighting. You said something to me, I said something to you, now we throwing blows. And I don't understand why people want to fight, because fighting, you get done fighting, your arm hurt, your hand hurt, your back hurt, your side hurt, your lip might hurt, you got a black eye. The person who won the fight, they all hurt up because they swinging and moving muscles that they haven't. Who want to do all that? Breaking things. I tell some of my clients, like, when you get really upset, go to the dollar store, get you a plate, write down all the things you want to remove out of your life, and break that plate. Don't be in the house throwing plates and breaking plates and kicking in and punching in walls and in apartments that you don't even own. Now you got to fix it, and now you want to tell the person off because you feel like you should get your deposit back, but they got to fix these 16 holes you don't put in the walls. What sense does that make? Or my all-time favorite, these gang wars, or these street wars, or these neighborhood wars, or all these different wars, like y'all fighting about stuff that y'all don't even own. Y'all arguing about stuff that y'all don't even own this stuff. So what y'all standing up for now? I'm confused. You getting some kind of gun or something like that, or you taking somebody's life, or why? Because I guarantee you're not sleeping at night. And if you're going to prison, you're not sleeping at night. When you could have just took a moment and thought about it. Is it really worth it? Spiritual retaliation. Hoping someone fails. People will pray on your downfall. I just like, really? Really? They'll pray on your downfall because they think you praying on their downfall. When in all actuality, you really don't even know what they doing. You just don't know how to support, so you're not saying nothing. People will spiritual retaliation, like I say, it's always funny to me. Because how are you spiritual or Christian? Are you saying like, I love God, all this stuff, but then you telling, I hope you lose everything. I hope you don't make it to see Christmas. What? Praying for someone's downfall instead of helping them heal. Instead of just being real with them. Instead of opening up and saying, like, the simple words is, you hurt me. Living in anger, waiting for karma to strike. I know one thing people used to say, I might not live to see something happen, but something gonna happen to them. Okay. No, we're not worried about if something gonna happen to them. Because you should have told them that you hurt me. So now they can carry that weight of their own instead of you taking on the things that they did to you and lowering yourself down to their level so that you could hurt them. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's too much energy. It's too much energy. I could take the negative energy that I feel against somebody else and turn it around and do something like get more into my studies or work harder or say, I need to spend more. That just showed me I need to spend more time with my kids. Instead, focus on redirecting your energy to things you can build. Letting go. And like I said in the beginning, you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you. For you. This is about you. And then trust what is meant for you cannot be taken away from you. I have people all the time wishing crazy stuff on me, like all the time. And my main thing that I tell people, what is meant for me is meant for me. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you feel like you're doing to me. My favorite thing is I don't do bad juju. I have no energy inside of me to do anything negative to you because you feel like you want to retaliate against me or something that I probably don't even know happened. Because there are some people in this world that intentions are honestly good from the jump. And then you have people who are retaliating all the time. We broke down a lot in a few minutes, and we do that all the time. Retaliation, it feels good for the moment, but it costs you everything. So how do we break free from this? Like, how do we say enough is enough? I'm tired. I'm ready I'm ready to let this thing go. I'm ready to let this thing go. One way, pause before you react. I always tell people, like, in the midst of an argument, it is okay to tell someone, like, listen, I'm validating your feelings. I understand what you're saying, but I need a minute because I'm upset. You don't have to say, well, we argue, we yelling at each other, well, so we need to separate. No, you don't need to make the decision for the person. Make the decision for you. I'm upset. Give me a moment. And if that person doesn't want to give you a moment, walk away. Walk away. And I've had gentlemen tell me, like, I'm trying to walk away from this girl and she started hitting me. Walk faster. And when you walk faster and she continues to hit you, yell, scream, cuss you out, whatever she's doing, then don't go back. We have to get comfortable with just saying, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're not retaliating, if you know that you are trying to handle a situation better so that you don't retaliate in a negative way, do what you're doing. People either going to fall in line or they're going to fall away. Ask yourself this. Will this make me better or bitter? When you feel like you want to retaliate against someone, ask yourself, is this going to make me better or bitter? Because it's going to do one or the other. Because once you retaliate, that means you still ain't, you really didn't get over it. You're still upset. Do you realize you just spent October, November, December, January, almost into February, planning something to retaliate against someone? What kind of time? I need that kind of time on my hands. Because when you so focus on your purpose, there's no way for you to have that kind of time on your hands. Redirect that energy to growth. Your success will make a bigger statement than any retaliations. When I tell you that success makes a big statement, it makes a humongous statement. It makes a humongous statement. The truth is this. That person probably isn't worth your good energy. And I'm saying good energy because you're taking your good energy and you're twisting it around and you're making it into negative energy. Because there are so many things that you could do or could have done in order to say, you know what? You hurt me. And maybe they're not ready to talk, and maybe you're not ready to talk. Maybe the first night you're going to go home and you're going to spend all night processing that conversation in your mind over and over and over and over and over again. But the next morning when you get up, you need to go direct and you need to say, "This is what happened." And let me tell y'all a secret. Sometimes people gonna feel like they ain't do nothing, and they're not going to validate your feelings. And guess what? That you definitely gonna feel like, "Oh, they didn't care about what I felt. They didn't care about what I said. I got them. I got them." There you go again. If someone can control your mind, if they can control your emotions, if they control your anger or your not anger, if they control all of that stuff, they own you. You're a slave. You are essentially their slave. They tell you what to do. They tell you how to move. They tell you how to feel. And if they're retaliating against you and you feeding into the retaliation, they own you. Now you mad at them. You don't like what they do. You don't like their behavior, but you're going to let them own you. That doesn't add up for me. It doesn't add up. You are in control of you. We got to get better at this thing, family. The only way for us to get better at this thing is to really listen and start breaking these cycles of things that we do that we know are wrong, but we still choose to do them. One of the questions my cousin asked me, she was like, "Well, what if somebody beating you up? If you can walk away, fine. If you can't, hey, they keep putting their hands on you." Because I'm not telling you to turn the other cheek. I'm telling you to put your energy into something else. I'm telling you that 9 times out of 10, it's not even worth it. I'm telling you that people will sit and they will plot and they will scheme and they will think of everything negative to do, but they can't do the one positive thing of coming to you and having a conversation. It doesn't make sense. It never adds up properly. Because when you think about perspective, perspectives are different. People grow up different. Like a person who grows up in survival is different from a person who grows up in love. And not saying that the person in survival didn't get love, but they didn't get the kind of love that the person that grew up in love. Survival will have you all over the place. It will have you thinking this way and that way, because it could be that everybody around you is in survival mode, which means that there is a lot of scheming, scamming, retaliation, a lot of things going on. So when you're retaliating, it seems right because this is the norm, but it's not the norm. It's not normal. We're not normalizing retaliating against people. Although the world makes you feel like it's a normal thing, it's not. Yes, it is a normal feeling, but the action of it is not normal. It is not normal. And like I said before, some days y'all love me and some days you will not love me, but every day I'm going to tell the truth and every day I'm going to love you. Because retaliation is not normal. No matter how people make you feel, and no matter how that instant gratification, because that's what it is. It's an instant gratification and then it goes away because you start to process. And when you start to sit down and you start to process, you're like, why did I do that? Or this is the other one, or when the person confronts you about your retaliation, and then they say, well, I didn't even know I hurt you. Now you really feel bad. Because now that person is having a conversation with you that you could have had with them months ago. And they're having a conversation of, I apologize if I hurt you. If I would have knew I hurt you then, I would have apologized then. But you didn't give them an opportunity. You just went straight into retaliation. Because they hurt you and you needed to regain that power back from them. But you didn't. You didn't regain the power. They still have the power because they made you take all of your good energy and they made you stop focusing on your purpose. They made you get so bitter and so dark in the inside. So what did you win? An opportunity to say, I hurt them. Is that something like, that's not a big like, that's not a breakthrough. It's not a breakthrough, family. It's not a breakthrough. I hope this hit home for some people. Retaliation is a cycle, but cycles can be broken. Protect your peace. Focus on your future and let your growth be your best response. There has been a lot of ups and downs in my life. I've changed a lot over the years. People have done a lot of hurtful things to me. It was funny, my older son and I were talking one day and he was saying, Mom, he was like, people always be hurting your feelings and you be like crying and then you be like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn up. It's the truth. I cut them off. We done because obviously the fact that you mustered up all of this anger against me to retaliate for something that I didn't even, I'm just an honest person. No harm, but I'm gonna let my success work for me. And when you feel the need to come to me and have a conversation, we can have that conversation. I've heard a lot of people more than me say that I would be the first to apologize to people. And I know that there are some of y'all out there that will be the first to apologize to someone. And then there are some of y'all out there that will be the first to retaliate without conversation, without notification, without understanding. Stay in your peace. Peace is a wonderful thing. I promise you, I love peace. I love peace. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Zip Mouth Motivation Podcast. How about 101.5? Remember, I told y'all every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., Zip Mouth Motivation is on the air. Listen in, invite a friend to listen in, whatever you got to do. Shout out again to Takai Divine Tea because peace starts with a sip. It starts with a sip. You can get to Takai Divine Tea at Brandon Mall right now, or you can order. I do have a link on my Facebook page. You can click that link and you can order some tea, or you can go to Brandon Mall and buy the tea. Either one. Because it's time for us to do that. Also, follow me on all social media. Zip Mouth Motivation on Instagram, Facebook. I don't think I'm on Twitter no more. TikTok, of course. If you're on Red Note, same thing. Zip Mouth Motivation. Follow me on the platforms. I follow back. I don't know about all of this. You can't follow people. I don't know nothing about that. I don't care nothing about that. I be following. I be liking your stuff. All of that. So definitely follow me on all social media platforms. Until we meet again, remember, before you retaliate, think about it. But I want y'all to stay strong, stay focused, and let your actions speak for your greatness. Let your actions speak for your greatness. Stay in your power. Don't let nobody lower you to their standards because they did something to you and you feel like you can't have a conversation with them. So now they are lowering you. And then the other flip side is maybe they don't even know. And you about to retaliate and now you going to feel ugly in the inside. And say, that's not really me. That's not really who I am. But you did it. So it's in you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Zip Mouth Motivation and nothing but change this year. We deserve to be better, have better, and we definitely know better. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening to Zip Mouth.